So here we have OpenERP's hospital management system, which was made possible by integrating all the standard modules of OpenERP, which would suffice the need of the management of the work process of the hospital. So here you can see these are the modules of OpenERP covering all the different aspects of hospital management. So we start with the medical module. The first and foremost thing, when a patient visits the hospital, he has to register himself at the reception counter. So for that, there is a patient form. This is the patient form in which all the details of the patient is to be filled up. There are various tabs: general information, diseases, medication, evaluation, socio-economic information of the patient, the lab test, the genetic risk associated with the patient, the lifestyle of the patient, the surgeries through which patient has undergone. Here you can also attach the image of the patient. So in this way, all the information of the patient can be created, and after registering, the system generates a unique ID for the patient, which can be used for tracking the patient information from the database. And also, after registering the patient, a patient card can be generated through this patient card reports. This is the patient card, which contains the patient registration number, the name, date of birth, blood group of the patient, which can be printed and given to the issued to the patient. So in this way, patient history is maintained through this patient form. Now, so suppose the patient is required to be admitted in the hospital for certain duration, then for maintaining the information of IPD type of patient, there is a separate IPD menu. Here we have an IPD form in which the IPD patient details can be entered. See, here is the hospitalization date, the physician which will be operating on the patient, the admission type. These are the categories of admission type: urgent, elective, maternity, routine and emergency. The reason for which the patient is admitted is entered over here. These are the various list of diseases. And the hospital bed which has been allotted to the IPD patient. So in this way, the IPD patient details are entered in the IPD form. And the status is hospitalized. Here OpenERP has a provision of scheduling the appointment of the patient with the respective consultant or physician. For that, there is a separate appointment form in which this type of information can be tracked. These are the list of all the appointments. See, this is the appointment form. Here is the patient name. If the patient is of IPD type, his IPD registration number. the physician with whom the appointment is been taken, the specialty of the physician. If you click on the search icon, it will display all the specialties which have been configured. The date and time of the appointment, and this is the appointment ID which is unique and generated by the system. So in this way all the appointment information can be tracked into the system. Now suppose if the patient is prescribed for certain laboratory test, a laboratory request has to be generated and issued to the respective laboratory. So for creating this lab request, OpenERP has a provision of it. Here you can create the lab request, enter the test type. These are the list of tests pre-configured in the database. Suppose the patient has to undergo for a liver function test. Select this test. Here select the name of the patient from the patient list which is displayed over here. This is the list of doctors who has prescribed for this particular test. So in this way you have entered all the information related to the lab request. Save this. So now when the laboratory person logs into the system, he will be able to see all the lab request which has been issued to him. So accordingly he will perform the respective test and create the lab test result. Here is an icon for which will help you in creating the lab test report. Just click on this tab, create lab test. So then now the report is ready for editing. See, this is the liver function test. These are the standard parameters included in this liver function test. These are the normal ranges of the respective parameters, units of the parameters. And now according to the result of the test of the patient, save it. So in this way the actual result for all the parameters can be entered and the lab test report can be created. Then simply click on the save. It will be saved in your database with this ID number. Now if you wish to create a printable copy of this report for issuing it to the respective patient, just select the test report, and here is a tab for generating the report in the printable format. Click on this lab report tab. So this is the lab report for the liver function test which has been performed in the printable format. The liver function test, these are the parameters, these are the actual result, these are the normal ranges, these are the units. OpenERP has a special feature of inbuilt ICD-10 code, that is International Classification of Diseases, proposed by the World Health Organization, that is inbuilt into this database. So as you can see, these are the disease category as per the ICD-10 code. These are the list of all the categories of diseases as per the ICD-10 code. If you click on any one of this category, all the diseases included under this category will get displayed over here. This is as per the ICD-10 code. Now if you wish to have the reports respective to the patient, go to the patient form, select the patient, and these are the list of reports for this particular patient. Now this is the lab test for the patient. This is the printable format of the lab test the patient has taken. Here is the patient disease summary report. These are the list of diseases identified over the selected patient. These are the list of diseases. Here you have a vaccination report. This is the report of the patient vaccination history, which lists down all the vaccines prescribed to the patient. Similarly, you have a medication history report. This is the patient medication history, which has the list of medicines prescribed to the patient. Now for fulfilling the billing needs of the hospital, there is a separate invoice functionality in the medical module of OpenERP, where all the billing needs can be fulfilled. See, these are the lab request which is to be invoiced. Just select the lab request, click on this tab, create lab invoice. So the invoice gets created for the lab request in the customer form of the accounting module, which is integrated to this medical module. Similarly, you can bill all the appointments. Just select this appointment, click on create invoice tab. So the invoice gets created. For the appointments with the help of the accounting module, which is integrated with the medical one. So here you have a list of prescriptions to be invoiced. Just select the prescription and click on create prescription invoice tab. So the respective invoice will get generated in the system. So in this way, all the billing needs of the hospital can be fulfilled in this OpenERP system. Now for managing the pharmacy present in the hospital, so that management of pharmacy, which includes the sale of the medicine to the patient, the purchases of the medicine, the management of the inventory of the pharmacy. So here you have a sales module. This is the sale order form. This is the sale order form through which you can manage the sale of the medicine to the patient. Here you can enter the patient name, patient details, the medicine sold, the quantity, its unit price, the subtotal, any taxes can be included, and its billing can be handled in the accounting module. There is a customer invoice. Which will have all the invoice generated through the sales. just select the respective invoice and complete its payment. Now for handling the purchases of the medicine, we have a purchase order form in OpenERP. In this purchase order, you can enter the supplier details, the medicines purchased, its quantity, its price, taxes. All the information relevant to the purchases can be entered over here in this purchase order form and saved into the system, and its billing is handled again through this accounting module, which is integrated. So here in the supplier invoice section, it will list down all the supplier invoices generated through the purchase module, the purchases of the pharmacy, and its respective payment can also be achieved by selecting the invoice. Now we move on to warehouse module, which will help in the management of the inventory of the pharmacy as well as the hospitals. In this, you can create a product category. In this way, all the list of categories can be created. If you click on any one of the category, all the products listed under this category will get displayed. And now there is a product menu which lists down all the inventories of the pharmacy and the hospital. These are the list of inventories along with their stock levels and prices. Now it's very important for the pharmacy to maintain a right level of inventory at the right time for fulfilling the timely need of the patient. For that, OpenERP has a provision of setting the reorder level through this minimum stock rule. In this minimum stock rule, you can list down all the products along with their minimum quantity and maximum quantity. So the system checks every time. If its stock level goes below this minimum quantity, the system automatically generates a procurement order and helps in maintaining the right level of inventory. Now in the accounting module, it helps you to generate the list of all the important financial reports, the P&L report, the balance sheet report, general ledger report and trial balance report. So this is the general ledger report in the PDF form. Now we generate the trial balance report. Here you get a trial balance report in the PDF format. Here we have a P&L report, profit and loss report in the printable PDF format. And finally the balance sheet report. This is the balance sheet report in the printable PDF format. So in this way there is a separate accounting module capable of fulfilling all the financial needs of any organization or the hospital concerned. Now OpenERP has a separate human resource module, HR module, which can help in managing the workforce of the organization, workforce of the hospital. Here you have an employee form which will help you create the employees of the hospital. You have a time tracking functionality which will track your sign in and sign out time and maintain the attendance of the employee. You have a payroll module through which the salary of the employee can be handled. Here is the employee payslip, which has all the relevant fields related to the employee payslip, the various salary structure heads, the amount type, amount percentage, net salary, gross salary and all the relevant fields. Also, you can generate an employee payslip report by just clicking on this tab. So here we get a employee payslip in a printable PDF format with all the relevant fields in a payslip. So that was all the important standard modules of OpenERP for a complete hospital management system, and which has a further scope of customizing according to the client specific needs. Thanks a lot.